50s. I don't know, it's a long time. Did they have carpet in the 50s? I'm not sure. So we're really glad to be back in here for our committee. So we've got a hybrid system, and we're trying that out with one of our commissioners. And Jason Shaw will be doing his committee from there. So we're excited about that. So let's get started with our Facility Protection Committee today, Commissioner McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. I got here early enough to have my makeup put on for the minute, but I think we'll have to get a new makeup artist. I don't think it's too good at what you're looking at. But beyond that, of course, under facilities protection for our new audience, who might not know that the items in A through S, as far as the consent items, amounts to about $170,000 in fines, of which only about $28,000 will remain after mitigation for those that will accept and participate in training done by our pipeline safety people, NIGUPA people, to make things work. For information purposes, these funds do not come to the Public Service Commissions. They go into the State Treasurer, and so it's no advantage. It's by statute that we have to make these assessments. So with that said, we'll call for C1.
Item C1, Commissioners, consideration of commission approval of scientists. Can you hear me now?
Can't hear you.
She's unmuted. I think this is the main volume control. If I could ask our staff to increase that volume for her, please.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear her on the Zoom call.
Yeah.
Shall I proceed or?
Mr. Chairman,
all right, we'll go. C1 is a consent agenda with items A through S. Does anybody have any questions or comments on those items? Hearing none, we'll move C1 to administrative session of next week. And there are no regular agenda items. So unless there's anything else that come before the Facility Protection Committee, we stand adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you for your patience. We are testing a brand spanking new system today. It's a hybrid system. We're really excited about it. It's going to give us a lot of opportunity in the future for remote witnesses, commissioners who are having to travel and be remote. So this is our very first rollout of this today. So why don't we go to our telecom committee, Commissioner Johnson.
All right, good morning. I'd like to bring Telecom Communications Committee to order. We have two items on the consent agenda. C1, consideration of approval of interconnection agreements, and C2, document number 25481. Do we have any questions, comments on those two items? Hearing none, we have no items for the proposed regular agenda, and we stand adjourned, Madam Chair.
All right.
I think
Let's move to Commissioner Shaw on our Energy Committee. Commissioner Shaw, great to have you remote.
Commissioners, can you hear me in the hearing room?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, I'll call the Energy Committee to order on the consent agenda, starting with item C1.
Good morning. Item C1 is docket number 43404, regulated provider of natural gas, consideration of SCANA Energy's first request for Universal Service Fund disbursement. Excuse me. On September 2nd, 2021, SCANA Energy, as regulated provider, filed its first request for Universal Service Fund disbursement pursuant to paragraph 18.13 of the consent order approved on July 6, 2021, which states that the regulated provider is entitled to bad debt recovery of $4.75 per Group 1 customer each month. SCANA's filing reported 12,518 Group 1 customers. This number is consistent with the Atlanta Gas Light Company September 2021 market share filing. The total amount requested for the first disbursement is $59,560.50.
Any questions on C1? Okay, hearing none. Thank you. Moving on to C2.
Morning. Item C2 is docket number 43085. It's the 2020 distributed generation request for proposals for solar photovoltaic generation. Consideration of the request to certify a second group of power purchase agreements. Georgia Power and its counterparties have executed the second group of 2020 DGRP PPAs, consisting of 5 projects, the effectiveness of which is subject to the Commission's approval. Attachment 1 included in the filing includes project-specific information for each PPA, counterparty, and facility. Staff has reviewed and recommends approval of the company's request that the second group of 2020 DGRP PPAs be deemed certified.
Any questions on C2? Tim, I have a question. Of the 160 megawatts in that, how many megawatts is that after this second round that have?
I'm not sure of the exact number. I believe it's 8 projects total that we've approved thus far. So it's probably in the range of 20 megawatts or so that we've certified at this point, or that we will have certified at this point.
Thank you. Thank you. Any questions? All right, C2 is on. We'll move on to the regular agenda. Item R1.
Item R1 is docket number 25425, Constellation Petition for Change in Ownership. Earlier this year, on February 24th, 2021, Exelon Corporation announced a planned separation of its regulated utilities from its deregulated utilities through a corporate spinoff maneuver effective the first quarter of 2022. On May 18th, 2021, Constellation filed a petition for change in ownership with the Commission pursuant to Commission Rule 515-7-3.0410. The separation of the regulated and deregulated business units would be effectuated in 2 steps. In the first step, Exelon would contribute the interests of its deregulated business units into a newly formed holding company. In the second step, the interest would then be distributed prorated to Exelon shareholders via a dividend, creating 2 unaffiliated publicly traded companies. In order to begin this spinoff, the petition requests the Commission's approval of the newly created parent company, Constellation New Holdco Incorporated, as the ultimate upstream owner of the Constellation New Energy Gas Division. After meeting with the company and reviewing the filed petition, staff sought verification that the holding company mentioned in the petition was a registered business entity. On June 22nd, 2021, staff sent its 7th set of DRs to Constellation. On July 20th, staff received its response from the company confirming the existence of the holding company, Constellation New Holdco Incorporated, which was registered on June 15th, 2021 with the Pennsylvania Department of State. In conjunction with reviewing the 7th set of data requests, staff also issued an 8th set of data requests requesting the company's second quarter quarterly marketer financial data on August 19th, pursuant to Commission Rule 515-7-3.077. After receiving the company's response on September 15th and reviewing the Q1 and Q2 marketer quarterly reports, staff completed its due diligence on September 24th, and confirmed that the company was in good financial condition. This separation of business units will not change Constellation's terms and conditions with the Georgia customers, nor impact their provisions of service. Staff recommends approval.
Okay, thanks, Sam. Any questions on this item? Okay, hearing none. R1 is on. Let's move to R2. Tom, we can't hear you, but it doesn't look like you're muted though. Try it again. Rob, are you on?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Tom, for some reason, I don't show you're muted, but it's not coming through.
Okay, I can handle the item. R2 is docket number 44054. This is Georgia Power Company's application for financing authority. I believe as stated in the backup, staff has reviewed the application and found it to be in order. Staff's recommending approval.
Okay, do we have any questions on R2? Okay, R2 is on. That concludes today's Energy Committee. I would just like to say that I was proud to, I didn't mind being the guinea pig today. I told Reese this morning, so I am the guinea pig on this new technology, but go ahead. I mean, Commissioner McDonald, I see your hand raised.
Mr. Chairman, has there been any directive on the biomass projects that were in limbo and over the last period of time?
I'm not sure. I do think that if there are anyone that has questions on the biomass RFP, that it appears that there's still some challenges out there in the marketplace, but I would encourage everyone to just continue to comment through the IE website, and we will use that to continue to use that going forward to
Information on that.
we'll continue to use the IE website to update any, all the interested parties on that RFP.
Georgia Power have any comments about the status of it, whether?
Commissioner, this is Drew Woolridge with representing Georgia Power. We will get you a status update on that later today.
Thank you, Drew. Going back, I'm glad this works because I'm the guinea pig. I told Reese this morning that it's not the first time I've been a guinea pig. My mom worked at the public health department, the health department when I was growing up, and I was the guinea pig for any new vaccines that were out there. So thank y'all.
Commissioner Shaw, before you adjourn this committee, can I make just a quick comment?
Sure.
About the biomass and about the solar DG. We're coming up on our integrated resource planning period next year, where we're going to be taking another look 20 years out, making decisions. And these projects that we've approved in the previous plan, I'll just speak for myself. The DG megawatts that we approved, I want to see all of those filled. And I know that we've had challenges with the pandemic, and we've had a lot of issues, and the power company is staffed up to try to get these things done. And we're continuing to have challenges. And I'm told that there's a possibility due to all of this that we may not be able to fill all of these megawatts. And we've encountered this issue before in previous IRPs, and we've encouraged the company, to work overtime to be able to get this done. Let's complete everything, that we did, in 2019. And for the biomass, I know that we've worked really hard to do this. It's expensive. There's not that many people interested in doing it, but it is so important what we're doing. I was just on a call earlier this morning with Westrock at the East Dublin Mill at a project that was approved in a previous IRP. And the 30 megawatt facility that we have there is continuing to serve that community well. It saved the mill. It saved that mill. And there are hundreds of people working in East Dublin today, contributing to the economy of Lawrence County because of the Public Service Commission's action. And who knows that the project that we approved with the 60 megawatts for biomass generation that we did in 2019 might not have the same effect. And so we want to get this done. And I know we've got challenges, but Commissioner Shaw, it's just so important that we persist and try to complete everything that the commission approved in 2019. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I will echo your comments. There's a lot has changed within the last year and a half or 2 years as we know it, not just with the pandemic, but with supply chain issues and costs. And so we just have to recognize those challenges out there in the marketplace. Anyone else before we adjourn Energy Committee?
Chairman Shaw.
Yes.
So since this has come up and we're in a public forum to discuss it, I think that it's important for all of us to recognize the rules that have been established by this commission with the IE and the importance of the process that was outlined in the use of the IE. And I hope that as we move into the next IRP cycle, if there are proposed changes to the use of the IE, and we give this generation wholly back to the company for them to source and manage, then that falls upon the company to do so. But we do have outlined rules of engagement with the IE, and I think it's critical that this commission holds to those rules that we stepped forward and previously voted on.
Commissioner Shaw, can I respond to that?
Sure.
Commissioner Pridemore, I completely agree with the use of the IE for something like solar, where we have hundreds of people bidding in and there's lots of things to manage. With biomass, I think there were 3 or 4. There's just so few with biomass. I want to recommend, at the appropriate time next year as we go forward, if we do additional biomass, that we don't use an IE, that we do turn it back to the company, that we make the process quicker. And that IE adds this level of, bureaucracy that's slowing this down. And with the price increases that's going on out there with steel and everything else, it is putting all of these megawatts in jeopardy. And I think the real loser for this in biomass is the 100 miles around wherever this facility is going to be put, that all of that slash just stays on the ground, that it gets burned, it's piled up with bulldozers and burned in the field, or it's not utilized. And the IE process, it seems like it's just slowing us down with biomass and something bidders.
Yet, Commissioner Eccles, with the 3 bidders, not all of them have stayed in the bid. And those are forces outside of the commission and the company's control. And you're right that the sooner the projects come online, there could be a potential benefit to the local economy. However, it still has to be economically viable for the company that chooses to move forward. And I think at the appropriate time, we can approach the use of the IE, but the existing biomass that was approved in the 2019 IRP was approved with the use of an IE. So we have rules. I just want to see them followed.
Those that in the audience streaming and don't know what the IE is, that's an independent evaluator.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right. Thank y'all. Good discussion. And that concludes today's Energy Committee.
Let me throw it back to our chairwoman for final committee thoughts.
I have none, except thank you for your patience with our new technology. And we hope that you enjoy the new cleaner setup of the hearing room. Let's adjourn committees and give us 10 minutes. And
Don't know what the IE is.
hearing on docket 43838 at 10 a.m. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all. Good discussion. And that